So it all comes down to this, a championship decider here at Valencia. Bagnaia on pole position. Demoted from pole is Maverick Vinales after having a penalty for going on the track when he had fuel issues. So Bagnaia starts with match point advantage to be world champion. Martin starts 6th on the grid. There is so much to look forward to, so much interest. Good afternoon, good evening and welcome. Let's go over for the national anthem of Spain and Valencia.
So this is the scene here in Valencia. I think we're having a little bit more of the anthem from the band, Michael. Let's wait for that to finish, shall we? For, first of all, the Valencian national anthem, and just then, of course, we heard the Spanish national anthem. The question is, will we be hearing it again today? Let's find out what's going on with the tyres for this race then. Sylvain Guintoli has all the latest.
Well, Susie, it looks like it's going to be a level playing field. Everybody's going with the hard front and the medium rear. That means that all these guys are going to have the same chance at winning. It's going to be about managing those tyres. And that man there right behind me, he's one of the best at it. Brad Binder last year was on the verge of getting the win here. He was coming back for the victory, finished second. So watch Brad Binder today. Now this also means that the guys are going to have to activate that front tyre, that hard front tyre. So for the first turns, they're going to have to really dig deep in that front tyre, build the temperature, build the pressure to get the stability from that tyre. We've got really stable conditions there. There's much less wind than yesterday, so easier conditions. But they're going to have to manage that tyre wear. 27 lap, double the distance. They're going to have to try not to spin that rear tyre. They're going to have to, with that rear hard device that goes down and loads that rear tyre, they're going to have to control the spin as well. So it's going to be about managing. And Jorge Martin, we know with his small body, the way he moves around the bike as well, will be using those tyres and the tyre wear to his advantage.
Thank you, Sylvain. Michael, what did you make of all that? Probably no surprise, really.
No, obviously the conditions have stabilised a lot today, so no one taking any risk, really, on the tyres. I think it is going to be a case of managing it. Some riders do it better than others. Maverick Vinales and Johan Zarco very good at it, but I think I agree with Sylvain. Jorge Martin, aggressive and can manage the tyres because he's a lighter rider, so yeah, it's going to be an interesting one.
If you were to call it now, what would you say is going to happen?
Honestly, I just have this feeling that it's going to be such a mixed bag. Pecco's going to be thinking about just finishing behind Jorge Martin, and all of a sudden people beat him up from behind, whether that's KTMs or Maverick Vinales. I could see it going Martin's way and Jorge not. And
really?
Yeah, I wouldn't rule out a Pecco victory because he's so strong as well, but anything can happen. Whenever it's a pressure cooker scenario, you're thinking about just getting home inside the top 5 rather than just thinking throw it all on the line and go for the win the way Jorge will today.
I guess this is the exciting thing thing about MotoGP. Nothing is done, nothing is formulaic here. We've had so many flips to this championship, even this morning with, Maverick Vinales moving back, getting that penalty, and Pecco being promoted to pole position.
It is the beauty of MotoGP right now. We're in the sweet spot. We've got 22 bikes on the grid, all capable of winning, 22 riders at such a high level. You can't afford one slip up, one mistake, you will be pounced upon. These guys are animals, they're all out there for themselves. We'll get a little bit of VR46 support for Pecco Bagnaia. He won't get passed by Luca Marini or Bezzecchi, for example. Likewise, Martin's got his wingman in Zarco. So, yeah, there's a lot of inter-team rivalries as well. But, yeah, it's such a good sport right now.
Just quickly, is there anybody else on here towards the back end of the grid that could play a part?
I think Fabio Di Gianantonio from the fourth row of the grid. He's was low on his front pressure yesterday. He has to be careful for that, but he had the speed to pass Pecco. He didn't want to risk it in case he took him down. He sat behind, but over 27 laps, I think he'll find a way through today.
Well, Michael, this really is a mouth-watering prospect ahead. Tension is rising here on the grid in Valencia. It's all to come.
Yeah. Yeah.
So apologies for leaving on an ad break there as well. We've been running from one box to the other. Enjoy your style, says Barry. Thank you very much. Hello to Omi as well, who's also in the F1. In the F1 race, by the way, Charles Leclerc has just come into the pit lane. A 2.6 second stop for the Ferraris to come in. Why are you not watching in 4K? I've just realised as well. You're on normal. You've spent the last 36 laps not in normal quality. So Leclerc comes out, actually, so this would be quite new actually, I've never done this before. Is the camera working? No, green screen's gone wrong again. So, Megan, Adam and Omi are all in there commentating right now on the Formula 1. I'm in here commentating on the MotoGP. How this is going to work is, it's 27 laps, I'll do the first 15 to 20 minutes of this one. I'll go and call the end of Formula 1 that Megan's now leading. Megan will come here, lead the MotoGP, and then it'll all switch over back together at the end later. And I've just seen Formula 1 in Ultra HD for the first time during a Grand Prix race. It's the first time I've actually missed any part of a Grand Prix since 2013. And Lando's trying to go around the outside of Alonso there at turn 9. That's a bit close, but it looks stunning in 4K. And I'm actually quite glad, actually, because the television in the commentary box is in 4K, and it doesn't look as different as it does there. Anyway, back to Susie. It's time to crown a world champion in MotoGP. Pecco versus Martin. Who will it be? A season-long battle. Here's your starting grid. Bagnaia from Zarco and Miller, the new front row. Vinales demoted to 4th after an infringement in warm-up this morning. Binder, Martin starting 6th. Then it's Bezzecchi, Alex Marquez, Marc Marquez, Raul Fernandez, Di Gianantonio, Aleix Espargaro. Then it's Augusto Fernandez, Enea Bashini, Fabio Quartararo, Takiki Nakagami, Luca Marini and Paul Espargaro. Franco Morbidelli, Alex Rins. And then it's Lorenzo Salvadori right at the back of the circuit. The green light goes on and we are underway for the formation lap here at the track. And this is going to be something special. Bagnaia effectively gifted a pole position from the stewards. Maverick Viñales dropped oil on the track this morning. He received the black and white meatball flag. He failed to stop immediately. Unfortunately, that means a 3-place grid penalty. Now, all that Bagnaia has to do is finish, and he is champion. The gap is 14 points as it stands. And with Bagnaia leading, we've seen him fall before. Anything can happen. You can see how he can be world champion alongside me on the commentary screen from Robert Jones at crashnet.com. That is how he can be doing it. And to explain to you in full, for me seeing it, rigged championship says Tal 17. Well, Rossi was sent to the back in 2015 for kicking Mark. So Bagnaia will be champion if he finishes in the top 5. He finishes P6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and Martin doesn't win the race. He finishes P11, 12, 13 and 14, and Martin doesn't finish better than P3, and he finishes 15th or fails to score any points, and Martin doesn't finish on the podium. So for Martin to be champion, it's a little bit harder. He wins and Bagnaia doesn't finish better than P6. He finishes 2nd and Bagnaia doesn't finish better than 11th, or he finishes 3rd on the podium and Bagnaia doesn't finish better than the final points paying position in 15th. That's the championship situations coming into this one. That's how it is decided. As in the Formula 1 that's happening alongside us, that Megan and Omi and Adam and Josh T are commentating on right now. Hamilton has just been brake tested by Lance Stroll by Fernando Alonso coming into turn 5. Did he lift? I'm having a look. Yeah, actually, what was Alonso doing there? Alonso was actually off the track. Davide Tardotti's heart rate is at 116 beats per minute. Gino Borisso's is at 111. We are all set then. It's been a long season. It's been the longest season in MotoGP history. It's been 20 sprint races, 19 Grand Prix. It's time for the 40th and last race. A champion will be crowned today for one more time. All 5 lights activate now, and we are racing. Pull the throttle back and decide a champion. It's a good start for Bagnaia. Good start from Jorge Martin from the middle of the second row. Martin's going to have the inside line down to the first corner. He's braking late as well. Can he take the lead? Martin's in second. Bagnaia leads. Coming through as well. There's Brad Binder. Jack Miller in second. Miller's on the inside line. Here comes Martin. Brad Binder's bike is twitching and Miller's down to 3rd. Martin's up to 2nd. Oh boy, it's on. It is on. We have a title fight going on as we come into the braking zone. Bezzecchi's crashed in the background at the top. Marco Bezzecchi has crashed out of the race. That's going to be crucial to watch. Yellow flag sector 2. But it is Binder now down in 3rd position. Miller's in 4th. Bezzecchi has crashed. That was our really title favourite. Bagnaia leads. Martin 2nd. And that's exactly what we needed. Oh, this might be a red flag actually because Bezzecchi looks a bit injured. He's lying in the gravel track holding his left leg. So I really hope he's okay. They've got the bike off him. No sign of a red flag at the moment. We'll let you know if there's anything going through it as well. But Bagnaia leads from Martin, Binder, Miller, Zarco in the top 5. Viñales down into 6th position. So down 2 extra places from where he started, remember. Then we get Marc Marquez, Alex Marquez 7th and 8th. Aleix 9th, Digi's up to 10th. No sign of a red flag at the moment. No jump starts, say race control as well. That's better information to what we needed to know up here in the commentary box as they turn in to the last corners. Adrian Campos, turn 14, a second gear, 90km/h corner. Literally pull that throttle back and Martin is right there. This is close to the championship now. This is what we wanted on a decider day. Bagnaia versus Martin in the scrum of the World Championship as they turn into turn 2. Yellow flag has been retrieved. No red flag. The race goes on. That's good news for us. I mean, I would have liked a red flag because then we could have finished Formula 1 before MotoGP restarted. But hey-ho, never mind. But can Martin get ahead? Incident involving Marc Marquez and Marco Bezzecchi is currently under investigation as well. They're all taking track limits seriously. There goes on the inside as well. Enea Bastianini passing Raul Fernandez, and Raul now passing Di Gianantonio as we see Miller passing Binder for 3rd position as well on the circuit. The top 2 in the championship though. Bagnaia versus Martin. This is as sweet as you want it. We're live on free-to-air television around the world as well. This is exactly what you want. The 2 best riders all season going together, and Martin's getting closer. Can he have a go into turn 11 and 12? Not going to have enough as we come into it. Turn 11 is their first gear, 80km/h corner. corner, tries to pull that throttle back. It's not going to work too much, but Bagnaia is just staying with it. This is what we like to see in a championship. Right, let's open up the full timing camera, shall we, and take a look at who's on where, because we have got a difference in tyre compounds to contend with. 25 laps to go, and let's just close that up better as well. There you go, 3 laps in. There's your full data that everybody likes to see. So it's a medium front, medium rear for Zarco. And what's happened as they come into it? Martin's going to the inside line. Martin's going for it. He's on the back. And Bagnaia hits him. Martin's off the track. Martin's off the track. He's running wide. The 2 championship protagonists have crashed together. Martin is down. Down. He's down. Where's he come back out? Well, I'm trying to find. He's on 8th position. He's down in 8th. Bagnaia run him off. Martin tried to cut back through. It didn't work. And Bagnaia leads this race. He's forced off Martin. And now it's title chance for Pecco Bagnaia. I can't believe it. Martin just getting too close to the rear tyre. Bagnaia lifting off the throttle, pushing on the brake, and it's straight down the escape road. Nothing he could have done there at all. Davide Tardozzi doesn't know whether to be impressed or angry. I would love to look. I'd love to see what Gino's thinking of as well. This is unbelievable. So now we've got Martin 2 seconds back. Davide Tardozzi's heart rate is at 138 beats per minute. Can I beat that? He says. Let's take a look at a replay. Down to turn 1. Bagnaia lifting off. Martin in the slipstream in the braking zone. Bagnaia just gets it and they come together. Rear tyre to front tyre. 9 times out of 10, you're on the deck. Both did incredibly well to stay up there. But unfortunately, out of contention for the title at the moment goes Martin. He has now got 25 laps to make up more positions. And we know he can do it. He's on a hard front, medium rear tyre compound. So he has got the pace to do it as they come into it as well. So this is already going to be a title fight back. Pressure's off a little bit because Bagnaia just has to win the race now and he's champion for a 2nd year running. Martin going for his first ever World Championship. He's just got to take a little bit more strength out there. Bagnaia's won 17 times in MotoGP. Can this be 18? As we see no further action between Bezzecchi and Marc Marquez, but there's still action going on the circuit as well as they try and cut back through as Martin makes a move on Alex Marquez. He moves up to 7th position. Aleix Pasha's Antonio as well. This is absolute pandemonium that's going on right now. In the Formula 1, by the way, Perez just exiting the pit lane to change tyres to hards. He's gone down to 6th. Piastri pitted 6 laps ago. Leclerc pitted 7 laps ago. Verstappen still yet to pit. He's boxing now. Leclerc might take the lead of the race. I don't know what the time is there. But back to MotoGP. 0.2 of a second now. Bagnaia has pulled out to Binder, and that's all he needs. The gap in the championship, 30 points now in the favour of Bagnaia. Way enough to be crowned champion. It is title chance for Pecco Bagnaia in this amazing, beautiful championship. And now Brad Binder knows that he can attack Bagnaia, and he can do nothing about it, because if he attacks, he has to back off, he has to let it go through and just let him take as many positions as he wants. As the green screen needs a little bit of adjusting on the timings with the lights, there we go, as they come back in towards turn number 1. Bagnaia late on the brakes coming in as well. Binder's going to follow him in. 28 seconds Verstappen had to Leclerc in the Formula 1, so Verstappen's going to lead that one with ease. It was a 2.3 second stop actually as well. Not as quick we've seen today. We've seen 2.1s over there in the F1. But anyway, we're just now looking as ABD Wazi says B in the championship. Yeah, not in the YouTube chat. Not exactly the greatest situation what we've got going on right now. Martin making another manoeuvre, this time down the inside of Maverick Vinales. Vinales is going to fight back at him. Martin shaking his head mid-corner. Doesn't know what to believe in that little part of the track. They tried to come through and it didn't work. So now he's stuck still in 7th position. 1.9 seconds back to Pecco Bagnaia. Bagnaia is 0.2 off the pace of Brad Binder. So he's not dropping that much as we thought he might. He's still going to remain in contention. So now this race becomes a fight back in many respects for Jorge Martin. And Martin's on the inside down at turn 11 and he goes immediately deep. Vinales gets the cut back, gets the squiggle at the back of the tyre on the bike, and he goes back through. Martin might actually find that Maverick Vinales is going to be his biggest enemy today in the title. Unless Bagnaia crashes, then it's a different game totally to decide decide who's going to be where. Martin trying, hang on, that's Zarco. Zarco taking Marc Marquez down at turn 14, and Marc's going to try and come back. And remember, this is the last race for Marc Marquez on a Repsol Honda bike. He moves to Greneshi Ducati for 2024. We'll be covering the postseason test live here on JB Motorsports at Tuesday morning, 8:45 GMT. We'll begin our coverage. The stream will be up later on tonight, ready for it. Marc on the inside of Zarco down at turn 3, gets a bit of a wiggle on, and there goes Martin's going through. Martin has passed Vinales, all in the little battle together. So Martin up to 6th position. Marc Marquez down to 5th position as well. Marquez going a little bit too wide. Marquez is off, and Martin's down! Oh my goodness me! Was that Martin? Was that Martin? It is! It is! Pecco Bagnaia is the 2023 MotoGP World Champion! Jorge Martin is taken out by the man who has crashed more times this year than any other. 29 crashes for Marc Marquez, and he takes out on a high side for Marc as well. It's a big accident. I hope they're both okay, but it is done. It is done with 22 laps to go. Martin, the luck was not on his side, and Pecco Bagnaia is already been passed by Brad Binder. He doesn't even need to finish. Binder takes the lead, and Pecco Bagnaia is the 2023 MotoGP World Champion. A total of 6 laps in the race. He's been told Martin out on the pit board. Gigi Dall'Igno and Davide Tardozzi go to Prima Pramac to commiserate as well. That is solidarity. But Bagnaia will now know he is world champion for a second time. He retains his world championship, and Marc Marquez is being helped to the barrier. His career at Repsol Honda ends in a high side accident. Just how his season has been complaining of a bad bike. He crashes out for the 29th and last time on a Repsol, and Bagnaia doesn't even fight as Miller takes second. It's a KTM 1-2 in the Grand Prix. This is Pandemonium. Brilliant stuff. Pecco has one. The chat going live right now on YouTube. They see it as well. A world championship decided. There's Martin back in the paddock. He's out of the race, and there's nothing left to do. Martin has thrown it at his all, and it was contact with Marc Marquez that brought an end to a fantastic World Championship challenge. Oh, what a disappointment it was. And we hope that Marc is okay. Martin getting a round of applause from Ducati and Prima Pramac, including Gigi Dall'Igno, who was the team principal at Ducati. Davide Tardozzi there as well. It's hugs, it's tears, it's emotions. But oh, Jorge Martin, you gave it your all. What a championship. It is tears for Martin. It was a dream. He nearly had it. The sprint race yesterday went his way. He got the gap down to 14, but once again, the pressure, the track, everything getting to him. Bagnaia down to 3rd. Doesn't matter. Doesn't need to score any points. Bagnaia, with Martin crashing, is automatically the world champion of 2023. Well, round of applause for Martin as well. We've still got 20 laps to go. There's 10 to go in Formula 1 as well. There's not much left to talk about. Everything's wrapped up. Every championship. Deji saying Marquez as well, taking out Martin. The chat going wide. KTM 1-2 says Craig Bennett as well. Hello to Adam as well coming in. Unbelievable. Why are you saying Martin win? Pecco win, says Zayan as well. Game over. Emojis coming in the chat. It really is. Kenny says final race, final drama, final mayhem. It really was. As Hamilton in the Formula 1 race, by the way, going around the outside of Carlos Sainz. That's actually heating up the F1 race. That's actually, it's not being bad. I hope Megan's enjoying her first ever lead commentary of a Formula 1 Grand Prix. She will be swapping with me in a few moments' time. But, well, championship done. And now Binder leads for Miller in second as Hamilton and Sainz go side by side at turn 9. Oh, and Lewis Hamilton finally makes a move at turn 9. It's taken him another 2 years, but he's just done it. Sainz trying to fight back, hasn't worked out. That's in the Formula 1. Meantime, oh, and Martin He is crying his eyes out. Oh, I don't believe it. I feel so bad for him right now in the commentary box. I really do. I'm sat here and my heart goes out to him. He has raced his heart out this year as Norris and Perez have had a crash together in F1. Perez running into Norris. A little bit of a wheel bang there. But, 19 to go. Lap 9 of 27. I can't believe it. What a race. Bagnaia, world champion, wants to finish on the podium. Oh no, don't cut to that. We're seeing Martin in the garage, utterly dismayed. And they're going to show a replay of the crash. That's not on in my opinion. Oh, Martin tagged the back of Marc Marquez and it was just going to be a contact from the beginning. Marc turned in on him. Martin had nowhere to go. He's already committed to the corner and all they did. Let's listen.
He's frustrated with Marc Marquez.
Sorry, I'm going to defend Marc Marquez. There's
nothing.
This man had all the information. It was a lunge. It was too late. It's always tight when you pass into turn 4, but you have to be closer to the rider.
Martin gets congratulated, as we'll confirm everything on there. Oh, what a... and we've got another one. Enea Bastianini's dropped down a couple of positions. Bastianini's crashed out. Enea Bastianini has crashed out of the Grand Prix, and that's at the first sector. What's he done? So, yeah, a round of applause, and Hervé Poncharal coming to congratulate him as well. Our green screen's gone funny, but we're going to take this time. Let's pass over to TNT. Bastianini's crashed out at turn 1. I hope he's okay. Gav.
As it is, Pecco Bagnaia is going to defend the number 1 plate. The first rider to do so since the legend of this sport, Mick Doohan.
Well, there he is.
Because everyone else, Valentino
and he's
Rossi
up and walking away, that's good.
He did repeat it. Marc Marquez have never run the number 1.
Number 1, no. This is going to be a fast crash for Enea Bastianini. Let's watch this. One of the fastest corners on the track. Oh, and it's gone early, as you can see on the brakes. There you go. If you want to see what it looks like, that bike absolutely destroyed. Over 200
Oh, Fernandez is out.
Raul
Raul Fernandez has crashed out now as well. So yellow flag out in the third sector. So Augusto Fernandez has crashed out. There's Hervé Poncharal as well. And that, I like to see that. That is gentlemanly agreements in the paddock. That just shows you there's no hard feelings. It's a world championship to run into as well. Sector 3. And there's Fernandez out of the race. Walking away. So update for you. Megan knows, and Megan is going to come over now to talk to us in the commentary box as she takes over from me while I call the end of Formula 1. Oh, and it was a big crash for Augusto Fernandez. Glad that he is okay. Megan's going to tell me something at the moment as well. Go on. Hamilton. I saw it. Megan, I can see it. Yeah, I've seen the race. You know the torpedo? Yeah, I've seen it. Right, Megan. All right, I'm handing over to lead commentary now to Megan.
I have seen what has happened to the championship. Oh my, it's definitely decided now, though I cannot believe this. Why is this TV like this? Right, so I have seen what's happening in the championship. I know that Martin is out, and for some reason there's a bit of a pixelation right there, though I'm sure, yeah. It's all just, hold on, I think it's my shirt, hold on. Let's go on to this screen for a bit instead, while this gets fixed, because must be a glitch of some kind. I have seen that Martin is out. I don't know how he hit Marquez. I knew Marquez was out, because I had a look on your stream to see how everything was, and I saw the fact that Martin was out, sadly enough. 16 laps to go now of this, and it's going round the corner now. What? Binder is mapping to, I'm not quite sure what that means. I will say that honestly. Right, so it's all up in the air, so if I'm a bit lost.
He'd had experience on the Yamaha, but no one had been on the best bike on the grid, having
Can only I hear
jumped
that?
onto the KTM, and There was a way of working, wasn't there, as well, for Miller?
Yeah, it also seemed the way KTM worked. They were keen to improve their motorcycle. That's really good to see. I can't believe he's made of... I mean, well, you cannot believe how painful that will have been, that crash.
Has he got rubber for legs or something?
Yes, he has. Yeah, you'll see it from here. Well, we're on board, aren't we, obviously, with Martin. Not quite through. Just the reality of that corner. We've seen that crash so many times, as in riders hitting each other in turn 4. That was a huge impact. But thankfully, he looks fine.
That's remarkable. It just shows how good.
Before I run through the order, I'll just say something. I've just seen the crash between Marquez and Martin, and I can definitely tell that I could see the pain in Marc Marquez's eyes. Honestly, I knew he was going to crash sooner or later. I mean, it was inevitable for him. So, running through the order now. Leading the race with 15 laps to go is Binder. And honestly, I am not surprised. He has shown massive determination the past season, to be honest, let alone the last few races. Second place we have Miller, then third we have Bagnaia, Zarco is fourth, Vinales is fifth, Alex Marquez, obviously, is in sixth, D'Antonio is seventh, eighth is Aleix Espargaro, ninth is Fernandez, Val that is. 10th is Morbidelli, Marini is 11th, Paul Espargaro is in 12th, Quartararo 13th, Rins 14th, Nakagami 15th, Savadori is 16th, and then out of the race is Fernandez, Bastianini, Marc Marquez, Martin and Bezzecchi. Honestly, this race seems to have a lot more action than the F1 did, because we were all praying that someone crashed out, which no one has so far. Though there was action of sorts. Though everyone seems to be behaving themselves now that I've come in the box, which they usually do. Joshua always gets all the excitement and everything. Right, lap 14. With 14 laps to go, that's actually... So we're halfway through the race currently. And who are on board with 73, so we're on board with Alex Marquez. And we're seeing him try and overtake... Vinales going round one of the corners. I don't know this track inside out, so I can't tell you which exact corner, though. Alex Marquez seems to be going steady at the moment. So, hold on. This is paused for some reason. Not the thing, just my screen of viewing right now. Here's a replay of the crash between Marc and Martin. Who's that? Dropping Binder. What has happened there? Binder has gone down all the way into 6th position, leading Miller as the leader. Here's a replay of what I think happened there. I can't see it properly, though. Is no one else seeing this? What has happened? Did he go wide or something? Did he have a long lap penalty? I am lost with that. Miller is the new leader of the race now. Bagnaia in second. Lucky for him. I mean, he's technically just won the championship. So Binder all the way into 6th position now from leading the race. I have no idea what's happened there, because for some reason they haven't thought, you know what? Replay. Oh, here we are. Here's what happened. He had a long lap penalty, or he went off the track accidentally and had to go on the long lap penalty, so that has lost him the lead of the race, unfortunately. Though who knows, he might be able to get back up, though he is quite far behind now. Though he's the type of rider to make his way up the order quite quickly anyway, so we can still hold out hope if you're rooting for Binder to win the race, though currently Miller is the leader, which he hasn't had a lot of wins this season, if any. I actually don't know whether he's won. I don't think he has. No. Though he should be very happy to be leading this race. Maybe he'll even get a win out of it. Though he's had a on and off season, I would say. Though Bagnaia is in second, and something tells me Bagnaia would really love to win his championship in first position. So Miller is definitely getting caught up by Bagnaia. Let's see the difference in everything. Yeah, Bagnaia has had a red sector 1, meaning that he is one of the people going fastest right now. On board with watching Alex Marquez, so we're on board with Binder right now, trying to overtake Alex Marquez, and goes round the inside, slightly hits him in the arm, or slightly bashes him in the arm as he does so. So I wonder if he's going to have to take that position back. So Binder goes up into 5th position. Well, that bash on the arm was definitely a shock to Alex Marquez. It could have really turned into the same situation that happened with his brother, who went flying through the air. And he's lost position to not only Binder, but D'Antonio right now. So he's gone down into 7th position. Here's a replay of the accident from Marquez's view. Binder just goes straight through, tries to go around the inside of the corners, and just ended up bashing into his arm. I always worry about when they try and go inside, because it never works out well. It always ends in someone getting hit by something. And it's... who can be shocked by that? I'm shocked by that. Though Binder, as I said, is making his way up the order now. And he's got 0.3 of a second to Viñales. Something tells me Viñales should really watch out if that's how Binder is crossing people today. 11 laps to go in this race right now, and Miller maintains the lead with Bagnaia in second and Zarco still in 3rd position. Binder to drop 1 position. I said he would drop 1 position. He has to give the place back, even if Alex is 2 places down, but that means D'Antonio will go into 5th position. He is having to drop 1 position due to irresponsible riding. Yeah, irresponsible is one word for it. Basically, he just bashed into Alex Marquez. So he drops 1 position now. Wonder when he's going to give that place back. And is he going to do that now? I haven't seen him give it back yet. Does he know? Does he know? Because he really needs to give that place back. So is he about to do that? He better not ignore it, because I have seen before some people, when they see they have to give their position back, they just flat out ignore it and complain about it. For some reason, in Formula 1, it's the 57th lap, so Joshua will probably be coming back in a few minutes' time. Not just yet, though I will be covering Podium for F1, so I shall be leaving in a short while, I would say, and I shall let him know what's happened there. Though Binder, oh, that is clever. Binder, before he decided to give a place back, decided to overtake Viñales, so that when he gave the place back, he was in the exact same position as he was when he overtook Alex. So that he stayed in 5th position, quickly overtook Viñales, meaning that it was a close thing between them, and then gave the place back. That is incredibly sneaky. I actually really don't like that. You should give it back straight away, not try and overtake another person. I think, personally, you should have another position taken away from him, obviously. But them's the rules. What are we going to do about it now? 10 laps to go now of this race, and there's a battle between Viñales and Binder, obviously, which has only been exacerbated by the fact that they are only 1/10 between each other. Less than that now. Aleix Espargaro passes Alex Marquez. There's a battle going on between them right now for 8th position. Yeah, there is a serious battle going on between them two right now. They are within a 10th of each other, and Alex Marquez is currently winning that battle since he's just overtaken Aleix Espargaro for 7th position. And he is 1 second away from D'Antonio. Alex really wants to get his positions back, to be honest, I think. So, 9 laps to go, and with Formula 1, they're on their last lap, so time's coming soon. I'll give you 3 guesses who's winning. Right, so, Salvadori, track limits warning. Currently improving between everyone. Binder, sanction fulfilled, drop 1 position to Vinales. Why is that only coming up now? We already knew this. We already knew that little piece of information. So, Miller drops down. Miller has crashed out. That is a big one. He looks to be okay. Yellow flag in sector 3. He has literally just barrel rolled into that one. He barrel rolled through onto that. I'll go for a replay now. So going round the corner there, and he just drops it going into the corner, and it literally rolled all the way across the gravel, and so did his bike. Right now, he is obviously very upset about that. For some reason, the timing screen still says yellow right there. I mean, still green right there, though it is a yellow flag, I promise you that. Nakagami overtakes Rins. Rins has crashed out too! We've not even seen that, and it's the same thing happened again! The same exact thing. Alex Rins crashes out at turn 1. Concerned Joshua's coming back, it goes all the drama. Turn 1, and how does that happen? Going round the corner, and he literally just falls off the bike too. He slips and his arm touches the track. Yellow in sector 1 now too. I am aware that still looks green up there. So, I don't know which. I'm assuming the Y button is for yellow flag, though I don't touch it right now. Because Joshua forgot to tell me, well, I forgot to ask about that. So that means Bagnaia is currently the lead of the race. Oh my. I knew Bagnaia would end up with the lead of the race, so I thought he would generally overtake someone. Though Miller just gave him the lead by crashing out. So we've had 2 more crashes out. There was only 14 riders left in this race with how many out? There's 7 out. And I think I just heard Joshua try and go through on the radio. So I'm sure Joshua will coming through now. Though we've had 2 crashes out, obviously. And here he comes now. I'll just tell him quickly what I've seen. You've seen it. Miller's crashed out, and so has Rins and Salvadori, long lap penalty, and I shall hand over to you.
What an insane race this is. What an insane championship, and there's still so much to go. Thank you to Megan for all her work in Formula 1 and MotoGP in 2023 as well. Megan's off now to cover the podium ceremony in Formula 1 as well. But what a battle we are seeing. What a championship protagonist we're seeing as well. Let's go back over quickly to TNT.
Across the line here. Bagnaia leading. Zarco will be second. 6 to go. I'm keeping an eye on Brad Binder though. He was just 3/10 quicker than the pair of them on that last lap. We still could get a grandstand finish here in MotoGP, even though the championship has already been decided.
Yeah, Zarco's going to have a go at this one. Zarco fancies a little bit of a run here, and who could blame him? Who could? He's desperately wanted to have a go. He does. Oh, and that's a little bit of wide manoeuvre there going on as well. That was from Maverick Vinales, and Alicia Spargo's gone back through. Now here comes Fabio Quartararo on the inside line. Quartararo and Morbidelli making manoeuvres. Vinales trying to fight back. So, and that's Raul Fernandez now passing Maverick Vinales. It's all changing over here. What an amazing race at the moment. We've got Bagnaia leading, Zarco, Tabinda, Di Gianantonio, Alex Marquez, Alicia Spargo, Raul Fernandez, Maverick Vinales, Morbidelli and Marini has the top 10 as things stand. It is one thing after the other. We have 6 laps to go. Bagnaia leading, he's already world champion. Will he keep the gap? I apologise for the lighting situation, by the way, with the green screen keep going wrong as well. It's because it's getting low light. The sun's setting, it's cloudy outside, so it's not giving us as much light as it did yesterday at a slightly late time. It's only 2:35, but it's a miserable day out. It's always the way things like to go. Coming in, I'd like to thank everybody who's still watching and still listening in to us here on the broadcast. It means an awful lot to come into it. JM89P2, MMMP3 says Sauce as well. What an amazing one we've got going on right now. 5 laps remaining in MotoGP 2023. Will there be a different manoeuvre? Is Bagnaia going to be capable enough? As there goes Morbidelli passing Vinales on the inside line. And that is 8th position now for Franco. Vinales will have to change over places once again. So he'll switch back manoeuvres. It really is entertaining, this one. I apologise for the green screen. I hope it doesn't look too bad with the low light as they fly back. It's been a weird season, this one, for MotoGP. Same as Formula 1, really. Formula 1 was dominated by Max Verstappen. This year's been dominated as well by Ducati. It went down Ducati's way, but it's all changed up to come through. As we see coming through right now, Binder trying to take third, but Binder's back to third. Miller crashing out, of course. And there's Digi on the inside. Digi passing Binder on the inside line at turn 9 with a very nice manoeuvre as well. Nicely dive bombed on the inside line. Simon says missed the start, could have worked. What happened to Martin? Martin came on the inside line at turn 4, clipped the back of Marc Marquez. Marquez had a high side, and Martin went straight into the gravel and fell off the bike. So unfortunately, Martin was the architect of his own destruction at that point. Then we had Brad Binder leading the race until he made a mistake. Then Jack Miller led the race until he crashed out. Now the race lead once again has returned to Pecco Bagnaia, who's in a fight with the other Prima Pramac of Johan Zarco. Zarco could take his second ever win before he goes off to another team next year. And they're all going a little bit wide there at the exit for Binder. So for Bagnaia, Binder's down to 4th now. Digi's taken 3rd, so there's a bit of a gap between them. Marc Marquez's second bike now, just getting the congratulations as well. 2012, his championship in 13 and 14. All the world championships and all the moments as well. The King team. It's a disappointing end as well for Marc Marquez at Honda. He starts his new chapter at Prima Pramac on Tuesday. As well, so that's going to be a new factor. Formula 1's ended, by the way, so the last racing action you see on this channel will be MotoGP. Just a reminder to everybody watching, the post-season test, we will be live covering that on Tuesday morning, 8:45 GMT, as Megan comes over the radio to talk to me about something as well. Let's go to TNT so I can ask what Megan's doing. She's interrupting.
Yeah, a month ago, Fabio Di Gianantonio had no ride at all. Basically, there was no ride in MotoGP. There's no rides left in World Superbikes, and he's done what every racer should do. He's just dug deep, and all of a sudden turned his career around.
He only scored points 6 times last year.
Wow.
In a 20-round championship. Now Pol Espargaro, who of course
Paul's crashed.
in his last race.
Pol Espargaro in his last Grand Prix has now crashed out of the race as well. They're dropping like flies. How many we've got left? There's Paul. It's only 14. Is there less? How many is left in this race? 13! And that's another high one as well, just like Alex Rins and Jack Miller at the same part of the track. 13 riders left in this race. You cannot believe it. This is and there goes Morbidelli passing Aleix Spargo, so they've made that manoeuvre through. I've never seen a crash rate so high. Just read through the crashes out of this race. This is going to be unbelievable on my iPad. Paul Espargaro, Alex Rins, Jack Miller, Augusto Fernandez, Nea Bastianini, Marc Marquez, Jorge Martin and Marco Bezzecchi. They're all out of this race at the moment as well. Unbelievable. Davide Tardozzi's heart rate is at 109 beats per minute. Oh, thank you. As they come into it now, there's Bagnaia leading out. He's just having the control exit. I've got a nice big monitor for a change to commentate on that, so I can take a little look back. So Zarco's desperately trying to get back through on the inside line. He can't find any position so far. And Digi's right there. Zarco's going to go for it, coming into the penultimate corner. That's going to be very, very tight. Backs out of it. Oh, look at that from Digi. So the two men who have won their first races this year, Zarco won in Australia, Digi won last time out in Qatar, is now running together to try and take the championship hunt and take over the champion of Bagnaia. And this is just going to be absolutely epic at this rate as well. How close can they go? That's the question. How much can they push? We've got 2 laps to go. Bagnaia's ahead by 0.3 of a second. Digi's got nothing to lose. He's rumoured to be going over. Digi's going for it on the inside of Zarco. And that's a big middle finger to the Ducati main team. He gets ahead and he's literally smoking the rear tyre. It's Ducati 1, 2, 3. But it is the Lenovo from Ganesha from the Prima Pramac, and Marini down in 9th to make it the 4 of the 8 bikes completely out of it as well. At least they're in the top 10, but right now the Italians are ruling the roost, and it is Bagnaia, Digi, and then the Frenchman of Zarco right back there as well. Digi coming in, of course, from Roma in Italy. And he needs a ride next year. I know he's replacing Luca Marini at the VR46, so he stays on at Ducati, as well does Fabio Di Giannantonio, but he has come on leaps and bounds in the past couple of races as well. We will be on to the final lap of the 2023 season. This incredible championship, which has given us drama and highs. Can Digi do something? He did it to Bagnaia last time out in Qatar. Is Digi got anything left to become a race winner for a second time in a row? It is the last lap of the 2023 MotoGP season. We've got a rider slowing on the side of the track. I believe that's Lorenzo Salvadori, who's gone a lap down. Bagnaia has 0.2 of a second. Davide Tardozzi's heart rate is up at 114 beats per minute. Digi's getting awfully close on number 49. There's a lot of love for him in the chat as well. Digi's going to go for it. Go for it, Digi. Go on the inside of turn 4. He can't do it. He just got too far back. But Digi's right in the back. And Bagnaia doesn't need to win. But it's all about how good are you in your last race. Digi wants it. He's going for it. At turn 6, Anglo Nito. He tries a high line. He gets back on the throttle. Bagnaia defending massively. It will be a showdown on the last lap. But it won't be for a championship. It'll be for the all-important race win, and an emotional win if Digi can do back-to-back. No one has ever done back-to-back first-time wins in MotoGP, and this will be it as they come in to turn 9, 10 and 11 past the long lap loop section. This is the last sector of the last lap of the last Grand Prix of 2023. It's giving us highs and lows, and can it give us one more amazing moment as Bagnaia gets a bike twitch? Digi's right there. He stands that Ganesha up, but he's going for it on the inside. Front tyre nearly hitting the rear tyre. Digi's on the inside line. It's going to be a run to the line. Bagnaia runs it in deep. Zarco coming from behind. It's a drag race to the line. Pecco Bagnaia will get on the wheelie. It's a photo finish. Pecco Bagnaia wins, and Pecco Bagnaia is the 2023 MotoGP World Champion. Now the pressure is off. Now they can celebrate. Ducati in the pit lane. Absolutely erupt. It was always going to be a Ducati. It was always going to be Pecco Bagnaia. He wins the championship. He wins in Valencia. And Ducati number 1, numero 1, can hold it back. It's once and twice a champion. Bagnaia does it again. What a season. Digi gave it his all. It was a 10th at the line. But my goodness me, was that a season and a half to behold. Ducati, factory and rider, An Italian team, an Italian bike and an Italian rider, twice a champion in a row. Digi's delighted with that one. Let's check in with TNT and see their thoughts on this.
Reaction to that victory in the final Grand Prix.
No, because they're going to a break. So let's round out the race results, shall we? As because of ITV, they've gone to an ad break. Let's catch up with the chat first of all. Everybody going very happy. Fans 8 and 3 as well. Everyone very happy in the chat. All 822 of you who are watching live right now. Thank you very much. Now it's gone to 666 worryingly as well. Sign of the devil? Okay, let's go through the race results. Pecco Bagnaia is victorious from Fabio Di Giannantonio in second. Johan Zarco finishes third. Brad Binder is fourth. Raul Fernandez fifth. Alex Marquez is sixth. Franco Morbidelli is seventh. Aleix Espargaro eighth. Luca Marini ninth. Maverick Vinales rounds out the top 10. Fabio Quartararo is 11th, Takiki Nakagami is 12th, Lorenzo Salvadori is 13th, Paul Espargaro, the last points paying position, in 15th. Alex Rins out, will get the last point though. Then it's Jack Miller, Augusto Fernandez, Enea Bastianini, Marc Marquez, Jorge Martin and Marco Pezzecchi. And hoping that it doesn't completely freeze up on me when I try to do this, this is your World Championship after the race. It is Pecco Bagnaia, World Champion, on 467 points. Martin on 428. Marco Bezzecchi on 329. Brad Binder 290. Johan Zarco rounding on the top 5 on 221. Aleix Espargaro 206. Beats his teammate Maverick Vinales by 2 points to 204. Luca Marini on 201. And then Alex Marquez 177. Quartararo rounds out the top 10 on 172. Jack Miller on 163. Fabio Di Giannantonio 158. Franco Morbidelli 102. Marc Marquez 96. Enea Bastianini is on 84. Miguel Oliveira 76. And then Augusto Fernandez 71. Takiki Nakagami 56. Alex Rins on 54. And then going down, Raul Fernandez on 51 as well. You don't know where to run in the championship, do you, this year? Another epic season, another epic championship, another just fantastic run around in MotoGP. Di Giannantonio, every chance, as it says, couldn't do it, but Bagnaia is the world champion in 2023. We'll hand back over to TNT Sports in just a moment as well. Thanks to Brendan, who says, many thanks, Joshua and team. See you in 2024. Josh T says, thanks all for watching this very special year. We'll see you next year. We're not just done yet. We'll hand over to TNT. We'll get all the podium ceremonies as well with Susie, and we'll continue on Formula 1 as well. As soon as the podium's done in about 15 minutes here, we'll wrap up. Reminder to everyone watching that you can join us on Tuesday, 8:45 a.m. GMT. The 2024 testing starts then. We get a day off to recover from all the partying, and then the business starts on Tuesday with a single day test. Why did Martin crash? Says No Pan. He hit the back of Marc Marquez into turn 4. Marquez had a high side. He's okay. Martin straight into the gravel. Front dipped away from him. Lost out on it, sadly, as well. An amazing championship. Thank you for the stream, says Antonio. No problem at all. Pleasure to call all the action. And thank you for getting us over 2.52 thousand subscribers, over 2,520 subscribers and more, which when we started at the beginning of the year, we didn't even have 1,000. We weren't even monetized. To have over 1,600 people subscribe is absolutely fantastic over the year. And most of it has come from MotoGP. You really are die-hard fans as well and love the series, and we love bringing it to you as much as we can. We'll continue to do that in 2024 with every session live as well across the channels and networks. Right, TNT are coming back. Let's hand back over to Gavin Emmett as well. We'll leave you with them and we'll get ready, all set to go and have all the action. Here's Gav.
Welcome back to Valencia, where we're watching Pecco Bagnaia about to celebrate his back-to-back titles in MotoGP. There it is. I wouldn't say it was a slam dunk this year. He was taken right down to the wire by Jorge Martin. But I tell you what, he deserves the accolades. He's a deserving champion this year, is Pecco Bagnaia. That's his third World Championship, of course. One in Moto2 in 2018, and then in 2022 and 2023. And it looks like he's going with a championship ring. He's gone full NBA style.
Yeah, he's gone full NBA. I quite like that, though.
He does like his basketball, we do know that.
He deserves all them rings, I tell you. Class act. Nice guy as well, not arrogant at all. If you walk through the paddock and he walks past you, he looks at you, says good morning. Yeah, he can ride a motorcycle, but he's always been level, not too emotional. The highs aren't too high, the lows aren't too low. He tries to just keep it somewhere in the middle. Oh, that helmet looks cool. I love a championship winning helmet.
You do.
It does look cool, though.
You love anything with gold on.
Oh, but I'm all about the bling. Yeah, that's the one. It does look pretty cool.
Hey, you mentioned there his temperament, and I feel that's played a part in the championship this year. He's always played the long game. He's played for the Sunday. You know, on a Friday, it was a Black Friday for him this week, wasn't he? He was behind the 8 ball. He was nowhere near on Friday, and he turns it around. On Saturday, okay, on the sprint, he does just that, just whatever he can. But on the Sunday, that, Neil, this year is his 15th podium in 20 races.
Yeah, and he's not finished off the podium when he's finished. I mean, that's what's incredible. Imagine that when you think of that stat and how difficult MotoGP has been this year, how close, all the different conditions, tracks we've been to, continents we've been to. But this man on a Sunday, when the big points are up and available, is not finished off that podium.
Playing the long game, that's what he's been good at this year, and maybe Jorge Martin can take a leaf out of that book, perhaps. Neil, maybe that's something that he can do and think, okay, great on Saturdays and sprint races as well, but as we well know, Neil, as we well know, the big points are on a Sunday. Look, no one was to know how sprint races were to go this year. It was new for the sport, wasn't it? I think it's been a great addition to the sport this season. But it has played a part in the outcome of this championship. If we gave the title on a Saturday, it would be Martin.
Yeah, yeah. It's worked really well, the sprint format, hasn't it? We look at the viewing figures, you look at, you know, fans. I mean, it's been incredible. And some of the races we've seen, there's been the odd boring one, of course. But in general, they've been sensational.
Of course, Valentino Rossi was able to defend championships in the past, both at Yamaha and at Honda. Never wore the #1 plate, though, because I know there were people questioning about people defending. Always ran with the 46, as I'm sure people at home are aware. He is Pecco Bagnaия's mentor. And look at the success. He came through the system, started out in the championship, in the Italian Federation team, and then Rossi picked him up to form a partnership in the VR46 Moto3 team alongside Romano Fenati, and look at where he is now.
Unreal.
He even got farmed out to Aspar, didn't he? The Mahindra team alongside Pecco Bagnaia.
Yeah. I remember those early years. Quite shy as well, wasn't he? You'd walk around the paddock. Quite sheepish, shy, unassuming character. I would have never have thought he would become MotoGP world champion, let alone double champion.
He didn't get a point in his first year in Moto3. Not a single point.
Wow, there's a stat.
You know, he didn't get a podium until his third year. You know, it was a slow burn.
Tell you what, though, he's a bright kid, and what he did, he figured it out, didn't he? Figured out how to be the best version of himself.
A likeable character, Pecco Bagnaia, and he is a double world champion in MotoGP, and there are not many people who can say that in history.
No, that's a fact. I'm pleased for him.
The fans loving it too here. They've been a great crowd, haven't they, all weekend? Nearly 200,000 over the weekend here in Valencia. Yesterday was just as busy as today, and they play a part in this.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of the crowd, I think, were here for Jorge Martin, obviously being here in Spain. And I think a lot of people in the paddock wanted the underdog. They wanted the Pramac Racing team to beat the might of the Factory Ducati team. But no one's taking anything away from Francesco Bagnaia. It's not because he's not popular. I think just a lot of people wanted we're rooting for the underdog.
It's what we like to do, isn't it, in sport? The underdog is always popular. But what do you feel was your turning points of the season as far as Jorge Martin was concerned? Because let's not forget, Pecco had a 66-point advantage on the Saturday night at Barcelona when he had his crash. That was a massive moment for the championship, but where's the turning point?
I think that obviously after the crash in Barcelona, this man was incredibly lucky not to be seriously injured, and then the comeback took a while for him to get any momentum, and all the momentum was with Jorge Martin, and I'm sure he will look back with massive regret to Indonesia. That race, he had checked out. There was, 8 laps to go with a 3-second lead. It was on a different planet that weekend. And unfortunately, Jorge Martin carried on pushing, carried on risking a lot, and crashed out of that race. that's the one. Because then at that point, then the momentum swung back a little bit in Francesco Bagnaia's favour.
Yeah, and then, of course, there was Australia, the tyre choice, the bravado of that tyre choice. Perhaps if he'd have gone with the medium tyre like everyone else, there's confirmation of that start.
That's why no one ran the number 1 plate, because no one had successfully defended it since McDoing in '98. It became a curse. The joke was always, put that number 1 plate on your bike and it adds about 10 kilos. The weight of expectation, the pressure. And, hey, but this man had the courage to run the number 1.
And we're not talking slow riders that ran it. Your Alex Criviers, Kenny Roberts Jr., then on to, of course, Nicky Hayden, Casey Stoner ran with it, Jorge Lorenzo ran with it too, Joan Mir, Fabio Quartararo. You know, people have run with the number 1 plate.
Yeah, it's heavy.
And it's heavy. It looms large.
It does. I'll tell you what, it could be a record for the world's slowest slowing down lap for Pecco. And he deserves to milk every bit of it. He'll sleep tonight, because he definitely didn't sleep last night, I'll tell you that for nothing. Neither did Davide Tardozzi, the team manager. We interviewed him at the start of the programme, and I said to him off camera, I said, "Are you all right?" And he looked absolutely exhausted and shook his head and said, "No," which was brilliant. So Davide, you know exactly where you stand with him. Are you all right? He went, "No."
I am sure he survives off espressos.
He does. Nothing wrong with that, by the way. I've had 7 today.
I can tell. So back into the adoring arms of his factory Ducati team. Gigi Dall'Igna, the mastermind behind the Des Mercedici, is down there to welcome him in. Picture perfect for Pecco and Ducati. They got their man to win. That's what they wanted. Matter of circumstances today, it could have been very, very different.
Oh, next year's going to be juicy, isn't it? Lots to look forward to.
And it's not just going to be Bagnaia and Martin. You think of the riders who perhaps haven't stepped up this year. I'm thinking his teammate in Enea Bastianini, Marc Marquez making the switch to Ducati. Who knows what KTM will bring? They've both led the race today. It's got so much to be excited about.
There really is. KTM have made a step year on year, and they're almost level with Ducati. They need one more step to be what I'd say on a par with what is the best manufacturer. Ducati have been the best manufacturer again. So if KTM can find something, and also Aprilia have made huge steps the last 2 years, yeah, they'll be in for a right treat.
And let's not forget also that Pedro Acosta joins this championship on a KTM, riding for Gas next year. There's Christian Gabarini, his fiancée Demizia embraces him, and his sister Carola down there too. Yeah, no back-to-back winners all season. That just shows from 1 week to the next, MotoGP is the most unpredictable motorsport.
I didn't realise that. I didn't realise
it's only ever happened in the first ever year of the championship, which was 1949. That's Les Graham, Nello Pagani, people like that. You know,
I was in that race.
Well,
I remember.
Doesn't surprise me.
Wow.
A legend that was Les Graham.
No back-to-back races all year. Wins. Incredible. And Jorge Martin, I'm assuming now is going to head to Parc Fermé to congratulate his rival.
He says they're not friends, but I think that was more a mistranslation.
I totally agree.
You know, they get on.
Definitely. Obviously, teammates in the past, they were really good friends, but then they became rivals. But there's a huge respect between them. And do you know what? They've kept that throughout the season. At times when the press have prodded and done everything they could to try to create a little bit of needle between them. Of course, that's what the press do. That's their job to do that. But both riders didn't bite at any point. Kept it respectful.
The Aspar team, who he grew up with, down there celebrating with Pecco Bagnaia. Actually, where he grew up with Jorge Martin. Now, he finally...
Yeah, finally. We're going to hear from them now, coming through to us.
Fabio Di Giannantonio cannot believe the end to his season. Here we go.
Here we are.
Oh, Martin congratulates Bagnaia. That's nice to know.
Sportsman to the end. just explaining his moment with Marc Marquez. He basically said, yeah, there was that moment, ran wide, and then I was recovering positions, and I had a collision with Marquez, and that was it. A rueful look from Pecco Bagnaia, but as far as he was concerned, that was job done. Angel Martin there, shaking hands with Pecco. Davide Tarnozzi's finally been able to make it through.
The team manager, been in this, well, he's been involved in racing for over 40 years, a fantastic motorcycle racer himself. Has been Davide crying, been involved with a lot of world champions, all-round fantastic character of the paddock is Davide, and a great team manager. There you can see Claudio Domenicali in the back of the shot there, in the middle of the shot, next to Paolo Ciabatti. He's the CEO of Ducati. Some big hitters there, Gav.
A lot of the technical crew. Michele Pirro in the background, who has been the test mule behind bringing that Ducati to the fore. Won his one and only Grand Prix here in 2011 on a Moto2 machine.
We're still looking at Davide Tarnozzi's heart rate.
It hasn't gone down yet.
There he is, Davide in shot. And here Bastianini obviously smiling with, yeah, that's a grimace. He'll be like, oh, what a year I've had. Anyway.
Hey,
does this mean that...
win a race though, didn't he?
Yeah, does it mean that he will be guaranteed for next year?
Oh, I think we're going to hear now from Johann Zarco, finally, after all those celebrations.
Johann, you've been telling us over the last days that you believed you had the pace for the podium in the long race. What a beautiful tribute from your team. I'm sure you got a lot of memories, but what a way to finish it.
Amazing, yes. Pretty nice podium. This start has been better than the one I did yesterday, and overall I could have a better control of the race. KTM was pretty strong, but with the two mistakes of the KTM and Jorge out, I say, okay, I have my chance also to play the victory. And trying to prepare this overtake on Pecco, he had amazing pace, but I could have this control to get a bit faster on the last lap. But Di Gianantonio arrived too quick, and I've been surprised that when he attacked me in the turn 4, and then I could not get any doors to attack him again and try to win. So a nice podium to close this Pramac chapter, and now I can really go forward and enjoy this new project with Honda.
Congratulations.
Yeah, he makes the switch like, well, we don't know about Luca Marini yet, but he will go to the LCR Honda team. You described it as jumping into the lion's den.
Yeah, if you look at how the Honda riders have gone on the past 3 seasons, it looks pretty difficult, I think, unfortunately, for Zarco. I know why he's done it. He's gone there to have a bit more longevity in his career, got a 2-year contract with I think a 1-year option, so a potentially 3-year deal. I think the money financial package is slightly better, so you can't blame him. He's near the end of his career.
Hopefully not at the end for Fabio Di Gianantonio with another podium.
Fabio, you aimed at the podium first and got it. You aimed at the win and got it. Now you pushed the new world champion all the way to the flag. Tell us about it.
Maybe it's the worst podium of my life, because I was pushing so hard and I had an amazing pace. So I started to catch the group. I really started to believe of the win, and I wanted to win, to leave the team with a win. But then on the last lap, Pecco started to close all the lines. So I was angry because I said, I lost it. So yeah, anyways, it's an unbelievable achievement for us to finish the season with this growth, and super happy and super proud. And I promised the team to give the best result possible, and this I think is a good way.
Huge congratulations.
Yeah, but Fabio, will you be riding on Tuesday? That's what we need to know if it's going to happen for him. So he wasn't able to beat Bagnaia today. Bagnaia wins, and in doing so wins the championship. Neil, that's World Superbike, BSB, MotoGP, Moto E, which are the Ducatis this year as well. Bit of a clean sweep.
I mean, just incredible. The effort they put in at the factory in Bologna, and a lot of it's down to this man as well, Gigi Dell'Igna, the genius, the wizard, call him what you like. What he doesn't know about motorcycle racing, how to get the most out of the whole package, it's not worth knowing. I mean, they should be so proud of themselves. They've taken on, believe it or not, you'll love this, quite a lot of criticism for being so successful. How bizarre. They've worked hard, they've built the best motorcycles, and they deserve everything that comes with it. And there's a smile for you.
Looking overall,
the wizard.
Overall, he surveys there, and a little wry grin as he sees party time starting underneath the podium for the Ducati mechanics and crew. And hopefully we're about to hear from the new world champion.
Yeah, we want to hear from him. He's busy in the scrum at the moment. Can't get there. Here he is.
Should be down there, yes.
Here's our new world champion, Simon.
2023 champion.
Pecco, very few people get to win a world championship. Even less get to defend it. Tell us how it feels.
Amazing, amazing. I don't have many words right now. It was a long race, 27 laps of struggling because I didn't feel well with the front. Then I just tried to let pass the 2 KTM and the feeling started to become better, maybe because the pressure or the temperature grew. And from that moment I started to feel better and I was able to push, but in the last 3 laps I was completely without tires and was quite tough, but finally we did it. We won the title, winning the race, so better than this is impossible. I want just to say thanks to my team that is fantastic. More than this, impossible.
Wonderful work, congratulations.
Susie Perry, down to you.
And we echo those congratulations to Pecco Bagnaia, a worthy world champion. The joy and the pain of racing, seen it all today, haven't we? It's such a shame Jorge Martin couldn't have just hung in there because he felt like there could have been that jeopardy and that battle all the way through.
It was a shame because the first incident, it put him on the back foot, it put him under pressure, a little bit desperate, but even without the incident with Marc Marquez, anything could have happened. He could have kept going forward, got the KTMs between them, anything could have happened in that race, and a lot did. The temperature was dropping, riders were dropping like flies. Pecco controlled it. He was the master tactician today. He knew the pressure was on, and he delivered. He is a very worthy champion today.
Yeah, just 14 finishers in that, but we can feel how much the temperature has dropped, and we just saw riders sliding out there. I mean, it wasn't the race I think probably most people would have hoped for, because you wanted that fight between them all the way to the end, but there was certainly interest throughout.
It was a mad race. It was unpredictable. We've seen drama, we've seen riders making mistakes, and it was all on the line. So I mean, it was an incredible race. It's hard to get your head around everything that's gone on actually in that race. So Jorge Martin, you know, as we expected, took the race and won for it, and you can't blame him for it. You know, he did get a little bit surprised behind Pecco and get kind of like, you get that hovering effect because the MotoGP bike with all the wings, they have this big print, like aero print, and when you're right in the slipstream, you do feel like you're getting sucked into the rear wheel of the guy that's in front, and that surprised him a little bit. Fortunately, he didn't crash, but then he was very desperate.
Well, let's have a look at the moment that put him out then with Marc Marquez, and thank goodness that Marc Marquez is okay, because this was massive.
It was. Obviously, he got the run through turn 3. He had made this overtake a few times, made it cleanly. He got enough, like he got to Mark's shoulder, but not enough past for Mark to see him and pick up and give the position away. You see just the contact with the rear of Mark's seat. He's almost there. If obviously, we're so happy that Mark is okay after that one, but what an impact he took into the gravel. That was huge.
Yeah, what was your take on Jorge Martin's mindset? Because it's in his DNA to just go 100%. Could he have played it any differently today?
Well, it's easy to say in the aftermath. You know, he risked it all. You know, he had to make ground as well at the start and took the risk, you know, to get in those positions immediately. And then after that mistake, obviously he had to go over the limit. So he was making passes, making room where really there was no room, and unfortunately he did make a mistake. It was his fault, the crash with Marc Marquez. Fortunately for Marc, I mean, Marc is made of rubber. I mean, that was a huge impact, twisted himself as well, landing in that gravel trap. And yeah, fortunately, it looks like he's not too hurt. And for Jorge Martin, he manned the end, but he can. I think he can hold his head up high. You know, he did a great season. He put it on the line. Yes, he has made mistakes, but you know, the guy that comes out and fights like this every single time, you can't blame him for it.
And you have to say brilliant from Pecco Bagnaia today, putting all the pieces together. A very different approach to a race weekend than the Pramac garage, wasn't it? In terms of looking at Saturdays, where Pramac would throw everything at it and then work it out on Sundays. But Pecco could see the full hand, effectively, of Pramac.
Pecco's been so good at turning things around on Sunday, but as he said there, didn't feel the front tyre under him in those early laps. Dropped in behind the Ducatis, or the KTMs. He controlled it so well, and that's what makes him such a worthy champion, because he's had that Sunday pace all the time. He's made mistakes this year. He's had crashes. He's faltered under pressure, but in the end, both he and Martin did. They were at such a high level. Their teams were at such a high level, as were Ducati. They give us such a show. It's a shame it didn't go down to a last lap battle in some ways, but
we just always want more. Coulda, woulda, shoulda. That's what we want, isn't it? We did see the KTMs battling up the front as well. I think there was a moment that everybody thought this is Brad Binder's race to take.
Yeah, I mean, they were both looking very good, and that just shows how much progress as well KTM has made this year. You know, they got that ride height device that works so well out of the last turn here. So coming out the slow turns, that the rear of the bike drops, lowers the center of gravity. They're able to use all that power. So the KTM with the aero package as well, looking really good, and both riders making it work. It was really nice to see Jack Miller as well back at the sharp end. So they did make a couple of mistakes, but they were there. They had the race pace, and they were looking really good on track today.
Yeah, so Brad going wide, what did you make of that?
Yeah, Brad was pushing hard. I think he locked the front, or maybe tucked it, and he just had to go wide around the long lap loop. Then he had the aggressive pass, and then passing Maverick, and then dropping back, giving his position back, but I think he run out of tyres. So he rode really well, strong. Typical Brad, fighting for every single inch of track. But yeah, Jack was actually really impressive today, so he was unfortunate. Same corner for both riders, so just not enough load on the front. This is Brad using the long lap penalty loop to stay on track and giving away the lead in the race. But yeah, he can be proud of his performance, and so can KTM and Jack. So unfortunate for them not to have a bike on the podium today.
Yeah, it really was, because Jack Miller rode so well today, and you know, I think the whole of Australia would have been on their feet thinking, the Jack's back, here we go.
And it's not been easy for Jack, you know, the last few races. He has struggled. I mean, since Austria, basically, came off a boil a little bit, and he looked like he was overriding the bike and not getting the best out of this KTM. And Brad Binder, his teammate with the same bike, was able to be faster than him. So it was great to see Jack back on the pace, because Jack really brought something special to that team. You know, when he moved to KTM during the winter, they did a lot of work, and Jack, coming from the factory Ducati, I think helped them a lot with their project. So started the season really well, went off a little bit and back on the pace. So it's great news as well for the future.
Yeah, moving forward, and for their test as well, they can probably go in happy with what they've achieved this year. What about Fabio Di Gianantonio this weekend? Again, sensational ride from the young Italian, and we haven't heard what he's going to be doing next year. I think everybody's got their fingers crossed he's going to be on that VR46 bike. What did you make of his performance today?
Yeah, so impressive once again. His pace to come across to the lead too, the way he passed Zarco, then another lap to maybe size up where he could get Pecco again. Pecco closed every door, and as you said, heartbreak not to go back-to-back wins. Private team without a ride, under pressure, wanting that VR46 seat. So yeah, it's such a shame that he is in this position, because he's really found his feet. And I hope he gets the VR46 seat. I hope that they transfer those settings across and he can keep this momentum, because he's been so good the last few rounds. Really stepped up his game.
I mean, it is extraordinary to think that halfway through the season he was told that he'd lost his ride, and yet he had to get to the end of the season with zero motivation. He managed to turn that around.
Yeah, it just shows you that these lads, you know, they need a little bit of time. This is not an easy category to get used to. You have a lot of things to take on. These bikes are almost 300 horsepower. There's a lot of technical gizmos, a lot of aero, for example, compared to Moto2. So they need time to get used to it, to find the limits, to really understand how to get the best out of those super fast MotoGP bikes. So for Fabio, it took him a year and a half, basically. You know, he started the year not too bad, and he started to come close to the top 10. But really, we've seen him shine since India. He's been absolutely unreal for that end of season. And yes, I mean, how could you not sign that man for next year? He won the last race. Today, he was looking like he could have won again. So yeah, a great performance from him, and really happy as well for Frankie Carcetti, his crew chief, that was working with him, you know, this year, giving him the tools to be able to express himself like that on track.
Yeah, how much would that be down to Frankie to put it all right for him? Because he doesn't ride like the other Ducati riders.
Yeah, honestly, there's a lot of credit has to go into Frankie Carcetti's corner. He's redeveloped the bike, changed the setting. I think he used some of his Suzuki knowledge that did win around here last year with Alex Rins, but he changed how they set up the bike, really made it long, tall at the front, kicked the head angle out, give Fabio the feeling he needed, and then you can see that it's actually looks in some places the way he was turning inside Pecco Bagnaia up over the hill, it really works. So yeah, full credit to Frankie. It shows what a good engineer Marc Marquez is going to get in his corner next year. So Marc Marquez will replace Fabio Quartararo. Frankie Carcetti could be winning another world title. He's already won one with Joan Mir. So yeah, we love to chat to Frankie. He gives us a good insight on what goes on in the pit box, and yeah, he's proved once again what a good crew chief he is.
And you mentioned Marc Marquez there. We've had an interview with him across the weekend. The full 20-minute interview will go up somewhere, I'm sure, and we can tell you about that. Very candid, but he's on to the Ducati on Tuesday as long as he's well enough to test. How's that going to go?
Well, I think it's going to take him about 5 laps to beat his lap time from the Honda, and as long as he feels all right physically, I mean, it's going to be tough for the other guys. We know Marc is on great form. I mean, what he's able to, if we take what he's able to do on that Honda, nobody else is able to get anywhere near him.
Here we go then. The podium ceremony is about to take part here up in the commentary. This is at the outset of the gantry. Oh, it's not too bad actually. The green screen, it just fails on us, doesn't it? Davide Tard. Oh, what on earth's happened there? Davide Tard. What? Hello. I'm speaking to you from absolutely nowhere. Look at that. It's not even me doing it. Davide Tard. It's gone a mess. Davide Tardozzi then coming onto the screen, and he'll take on the big hug from Johann Zarco. Fabio Di Giannantonio in second. He'll stay in the Ducati family next year, which is all he could possibly ask for. But the race winner, our new world champion, it is Pecco Bagnaia, Francesco Bagnaia. He does it again. He just can't stop winning. And in his honour, we will hear the Italian national anthem after the trophies are presented to him. Everything now up in the air. What a season, what a domination it's been. What a great, great championship fight we have going forward for next year. Literally anything can happen. Anything can come up and change it. Anything can manipulate the result or anything. It's just been absolutely spectacular. Gigi Dall'Igna lifts up the trophy for Ducati. He is victorious. As now we've completely lost our green screen technologies, by the way, just in case anyone's wondering what's happening out there. It's all failed. Johann Zarco taking over in the championship hunt as well. Another great domination from him. Another brave weekend. He was running second for most of the race, but again, it just required a bit of difference and a bit of change. As the rest of the field come through, nothing I can do. Gigi Dall'Igna, as Fabio Di Giannantonio takes second, and we will get our race winner and our new champion, Pecco Bagnaia, will lift up the trophy as world champion in 2023, and in his honour we will hear the national anthem for Italy.
MotoGP victory in the race, glory in the championship. An Italian on Italian bike. For Italy, it's almost the perfect day. Let's top it off with Brothers of Italy, their national anthem.
Pecco Bagnaia is the world champion for the last time. It's champagne time! Let the podium celebrations begin in 2023. What an amazing MotoGP season we have had. My thanks to Adam, my thanks to Julia, my thanks to Tom, my thanks to Megan, and to everybody who's been watching MotoGP in 2023. I gave up in the end with the green screen. An amazing season, a record-breaking season. It was always going to be a Ducati domination. There's 8 bikes, 4 different teams, but in the end it was the factory who won out. Pekka Bagnaia for the second time is a world champion. 2024 is not that long away. We start in 2 days' time, Tuesday, for pre-season testing. 2023 will live long in the memory, but it is the fight we were waiting for. Bagnaia versus Martin. Martin buckled, Bagnaia won. We'll see you for the pre-season testing on Tuesday, but we will see you when MotoGP returns in 2024 under the lights at Qatar. Thank you very much for your company. Bye-bye.